transform, and we have defined what is the Laplace transform and what are its what are the various Laplace transforms of the standard functions. A standard function means a unit function, an exponential function, trigonometric function, and a polynomial function. So we have also done the Laplace transform of a hyperbolic function, that is cos hyperbolic and sine hyperbolic in the previous class. We have also communicated that what is the meaning of a first shifting theorem and change of scale property. And one more, linear property. We have defined what is linear property. Uh, Yesterday we have done a few questions of this Laplace transformation topic also. So let us proceed further. The topic is Laplace transform. This is the topic which we have started. And the basic definition I am going to repeat. Laplace of a function of t, that is integral 0 to infinity e raised to power minus st into f of t dt. This is the basic definition of a Laplace transformation. And you know that this is the integration with respect to t. And clearly, if we integrate it with respect to t and substitute the limits of t, we will get an expression in form of a parameter s. S may be real, S may be complex. So we can name it as another function f bar of the parameter s. You must remember this basic definition of Laplace transformation. Yesterday we have done a Laplace transformation of a few standard functions. Okay, uh, just I am repeating. The Laplace of 1 was 1 by s, and the Laplace of an exponential function e raised to power at was 1 over s minus a. Now from this topic we can find out the inverse Laplace transform. Inverse Laplace transform. And what does it mean? You just see. Laplace of f of t is equal to f bar s. Then we can write down what is f of t, that is L inverse of f bar s. It means if we take inverse Laplace transform of this function of a parameter s, then you will get f of t. The resultant answer will be a function of t. From this, by using this definition of Laplace inverse transformation, we can write down the new formulas. Laplace inverse of 1 by s should be 1 by using this. And similarly, Laplace inverse of 1 over s minus a should be e raised to power at. And Laplace inverse of a upon s square plus a square should be equal to sine of at. So all these standard formulas can also be written in this form by using inverse Laplace transformation. We have also done what is the Laplace of t raised to power n. That was n factorial over s raised to power n plus 1. We can use this formula for finding out the L inverse. L inverse of 1 over s raised to power n. We can write down that is t raised to power n minus 1 over n minus 1 factorial. This is the new formula of Laplace inverse transform. This is similar. This is the case for n we are taking, and n may be varying from 1 to 3 so on, positive values. And from this, this is also the case for n is equal to 1 to 3 so on. So we can easily find out. You just see, if we use n is equal to 1 in this, what you will get? You will get L inverse of 1 by s, because we shall use n is equal to 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0, t raised to power 0 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0, and 0 factorial is also 1, that is 1. And clearly L inverse of 1 by S comes out to be 1. So the same formula we can get with the help of this also. So you must have a practice about these formulas and how to apply the formulas for finding out the Laplace transformation and inverse Laplace transformation of a different kind of functions. So similarly, we can also write down formulas by using the first shifting theorem. The Laplace of first shifting theorem. According to first shifting theorem, I am going to talk Laplace of cos bt, that come out to be s over s square plus b square, and by using the first shifting theorem, you can write down Laplace of, that is Laplace of e raised to power at into cos of bt. But it come out to be s minus a whole square plus b square by first shifting, because exponential, in exponential function the coefficient of t is a, so changing s to s minus a on the right hand side. So this is the formula by using first shifting. And if we take this L on this side, what will you get? You will get L inverse of s minus a whole square plus b square come out to be e raised to power at into cos of bt. So straight away we can write down the inverse formula also. And on the similar pattern, we can also write down the formula for sine also. So s minus a whole square, that come out to be e raised to power at sine of bt. Because this b is a constant, so you can remove this b from here. It will come out here, and it will be taken to the denominator of this. So formula can be rewritten like this also. So this is the formula for sine bt. Similarly, we can find out the formula for hyperbolic function, cos of a hyperbolic function, and sine of a hyperbolic function. So for finding out the inverse Laplace transformation, we must be aware of these formulas, and we should also be aware about the partial fraction method, which we have done in the 10 plus 2 class. Example, find the inverse Laplace transform of 2s square minus 4 upon s plus 1, which come out to be s plus 1, s minus 2, and s minus 3. Now you just need to find out the Laplace inverse of this. And clearly, if you want to find out the Laplace inverse of this, there is no straight formula for finding out the inverse Laplace. So you just need to simplify this expression. And the expression can be simplified by the help of partial fraction, can be rewritten as a upon s plus 1 plus b upon s minus 2 plus c upon s minus 3. You can multiply, and what will you get? You will get a into s minus 2 and into s minus 3 plus b into s plus 1 into s minus 3 plus c into s plus 1 into s minus 2. Now, you can equate the coefficients on both sides. The highest coefficient is of s square, and what it come out to be. You can also find out the values of the constant by substituting the values on both sides. This is the another method. So we can use that method also. by putting put s is equal to minus 1. From the first linear factor, you can get the value of s. So when you put s equal to minus 1, it come out to be minus 2 on this side, and minus 1 on minus 2 is minus 3, minus 4. That come out to be 12a. This is 0, this is 0. So a come out to be minus 1 by 6. And similarly, using s is equal to 2, what do you get? You will get the value of b as that come out to be 4 into minus 3b. And what is b? That is minus 4 by 3. And by using s is equal to 3, you will get 14 is equal to 3, and this come out to 4 into 1. That is your 4 into c. And c come out to be 7 by 2. So this is the value of c, d, and now this expression can be rewritten minus 1 by 6 s plus 1, and b is minus 4 by 3 s minus 2, and c is 7 by 2 s minus 3. Now you can find out the Laplace inverse of this. Laplace inverse of this means Laplace inverse of this. And you can get the Laplace inverse of this term, complete term. Constant can be taken out by linear property, minus 1 by 6, Laplace inverse of 1 over s plus 1, minus 4 by 3, Laplace inverse of 1 over s minus 2, and plus 7 by 2, Laplace inverse of 1 over s minus 3. Now you can straight away use the formula, and the formula is Laplace inverse of 1 over s minus a is equal to e raised to power at, exponential formula. So you can use this formula and can get the answer. What is a? That is minus 1. So e raised to power minus t. That is a minus 4 by 3. What is a? 2. So e raised to power 2t plus 7 by 2 e raised to power t. So this is the required Laplace inverse transformation of this function. So for finding out the inverse Laplace transform, we must be well aware of the topic of partial fraction, so that we can easily find out inverse Laplace transformation. So let us do one more question related to partial fraction. Suppose we have find out the inverse Laplace transformation inverse Laplace transformation of, the question is s upon s4 plus s square plus 1. This is a very important question from examination point of view also. So if you see the denominator term, this is the fourth order term. So you just need to simplify this term also. First of all, s4 plus s square plus 1 can be simplified in this manner. That is, this can be written s4 plus 2s square plus 1 minus s square. Ultimately, we want to make the formula s square plus 1 whole square minus s square. A square minus b square can be used. So s square minus s plus 1 into s square plus s plus 1. So this is the simplification of this term. Now you can make a partial fraction very easily. This can be written as as plus b upon s square plus s plus 1, because this factor is equal to this factor, and plus cs plus d can also be written like this s square. is s square minus s plus 1. Now you can cross multiply the terms so that you can get the required one. Now this term is equivalent to. Now you can substitute the value of this term. And what is the value of this term? Or the factorization, we can say this one. So you just need to substitute the value in place of this. What it will be? That is s square minus s plus 1 into s square s square plus s plus 1. So now we can cross multiply the term. This is as plus b into s square minus s plus 1 plus cs plus d into s square plus s plus 1. Now you can compare the coefficient of like powers of s. The highest power of s is s cube on the right hand side. So you just equate the coefficient. On the left hand side, there is no cubic term, so there will be 0. And on the right hand side, as will be multiplied with s square, it come out to be as cube. So the coefficient is a. And similarly, when you multiply cs with s square, the coefficient come out to be c. So this is the first coefficient. Now we can create the coefficient of a square term. On the left hand side, this is 0. As will be multiplied with the minus s. It come out to be minus a. D will be multiplied with s square. It come out to be b. Then cs will be multiplied with s. You will get c, and you will get d also. So next term is s. What is the coefficient on left hand side? 1. And on the right hand side, this is a, and this is minus of b. What about this? This is c, and this is d. So now we can create the coefficient of constant term. Constant term, there is no constant term on the left hand side, there will be 0. And on the right hand side, only constant term is when you will multiply b with 1. B and plus d. Now, now you just see, we have a 4 equations, and we just need to find out all the 4 constants. Suppose if we add this equation, this one and this one, what will you get? A will be cancelled, B will be cancelled. Ultimately, you will get 2 times C plus D is equal to 1, and then C plus D is equal to 1 by 2. And then we have what will be the value of C from here? The value of C will be equal to 1 by 2 minus D. You can substitute the value of C in this, and you will get A plus 1 by 2 minus D is equal to 0. Ultimately, you will get A minus D is equal to minus 1 by 2. Now, this is the equation in A and D. This is the equation in B and D. And, can also simplify and you can substitute the values of B and C also. I think that will be the better option. Okay. The value of this come out to be C plus D, and this come out to be A and B. Equation in A and B. A minus D is equal to minus 1 by 2, and B plus D is equal to 0. Ultimately, you can leave it. Now we have this equation, this one. Just see the equation. In the equation, we have A minus A plus C plus B plus D is equal to 0. What is the B plus D? That is 0. So you can substitute the value. B plus D is 0. Minus A plus C is 0. Ultimately, A is equal to C. You can use this. If A is equal to C, and then you can use here, what it come out to be, that is C plus C is equal to 0, and C come out to be 0. If C is 0, A is 0 also. A is also 0. Now you can use the values of A and C in these equations. You can use here also. What is, if you use C is 0 here, this one, D come out to be 1 by 2. And if you use A 0 here, C 0, A 0, okay. If you use D is equal to 1 by 2 here, the value of D comes out to be minus 1 by 2. Ultimately, we can say that the value of B is minus 1 by 2, the value of D is 1 by 2, the value of A and C are 0. So the partial fraction have been resolved, and it comes out to be, that is minus 1 by 2 s square plus s plus 1, and what is the value of C? 0 plus 1 by 2 into s square minus s plus 1. So this is the required partial fraction we have. Now you can find out the L inverse. Now you just see, if you want to find out L inverse of this, then L inverse of this term is equal to L inverse of this term. And what it come out to be, this is minus 1 by 2, because it is a constant term. It can be taken out, s square plus s plus 1 plus 1 by 2 L inverse 1 over s square minus s plus 1. This question is very, very important. If you will be able to understand the question properly, then I think you can easily understand the concept of inverse Laplace transform by using partial fraction. So we focused on this question. We have to find out the L inverse of this term and L inverse of this term, and clearly uh, we have to make the perfect square, so that we can easily resolve this question. That is s square plus s plus 1 by 4. Perfect. For making the perfect square, we have to see the coefficient of s, that is 1, and it's a half divided by 2, that is 1 by 2, and its whole square is 1 by 4. So you just need to add 1 by 4 and subtract 1 by 4 this term. Similarly, in the next term, this one, 1 over s square minus s. What is the coefficient of s? That is minus 1, and it's divided by 2, minus 1 by 2, and minus 1 by 2 square is again 1 by 4 plus 1 minus 1 by 4. So now we just need to write down its simplest form, and its simplest form is this one, and that is minus 1 by 2 L inverse of s plus 1 by 2 square plus root 3 by 2 square, and plus 1 by 2 L inverse of 1 over s minus 1 by 2 square plus root 3 by 2 square. So this is the formula, and this is the expression by which we can find out the required answer by solving it. And you just see, and in the numerator there is no s term, only s term is involved in the denominator in both the cases, this one and this one. So it will clearly, if there is no numerator term in the, there is no s term in the numerator, then the formula will be in form of sine, not cosine. So what it be? And that is minus 1 by 2. And we are going to use this formula, this one we have just written. This is the formula. This is we are going to use. And let us write down the formula there. Laplace inverse of 1 over s minus a square plus b square. What it will be? 1 over b e raised to power at sine of dt. So this is the formula, and we need to use this formula. You see, there is plus sign, there is a minus sign. Then it means a comes out to be negative 1 by 2. What it will be? That is e raised to power minus 1 by 2. Wait. First of all, there should be 1 over b. And what is b here? That is root 3 by 2. So it comes out to 1 over root 3 by 2 e raised to power minus 1 by 2 t into sine of root 3 by 2. This is the first term, and the next term is 1 by 2, 1 upon root 3 by 2, 1 over b, and that will be e raised to power 1 by 2t into sine of root 3 by 2. We just see 2 can be cancelled with this if you take it in the numerator, and it come out to be 1 by root 3 common. Sine of under 3 by 2t is also common, and inside is e raised to power 1 by 2t minus e raised to power minus 1 by 2t. Now, there is the exponential term here, and if you remember the hyperbolic formula, the formula of sine hyperbolic x is e raised to power x, e raised to power minus x over 2. What is the x? E power, what is the x? That is the 1 by 2 t. And minus x is minus 1 by 2t. It means if you want to use this formula here, we need 2 in the denominator. If you need 2 in the denominator, then you need to multiply it with 2 also. That is 2 by root 3 sine root 3 by 2, and the formula come out to be sine hyperbolic 1 by 2 t. So this is the simplified form of this expression. So it means this is the required expression, and I think it is sufficient, and there is no further simplification uh, possible. So this is the required expression, or we can say that this is the required Laplace inverse transformation of this expression. So by this way, we can simplify and find out the inverse Laplace transformation. I am again repeating, we must be well aware about the partial fraction method, that how to factorize the expressions partially, so that we can easily operate and find out the Laplace inverse transformation of the required expression, required question. So let us move further. We have another formula, that is the Laplace transform of Laplace transform of derivatives. This is the another technique of finding out the inverse Laplace transformation, and we must be aware about this also. If a Laplace of f of t, you know what is that? That is f bar s. Then Laplace of f dash t. What is the dash? That is the first order derivative of f with respect to t. This is also the meaning of f dash t. That is df by dt. What is f? F is a function of t. This is the meaning of f dash. And if we have f double dash, then we have d square f by dt square. This is the double order derivative. Now, how to find out the inverse? How to find out the Laplace transformation? First order derivative mean s, f bar s minus f of 0. This will be the Laplace transformation of derivative term. And if we have and one more derivative term is a double order derivative term. And double order derivative mean s square. You will start with s square f of bar s minus s f of 0. We will go by decreasing the power of s. Let's see. If there is square, there is a power 1. Then there should be without s. And now it is f of 0, then there should be f dash 0. All these are called as initial values. These one f0 and f dash 0. These are initial values of the given function. It must be given to us. It must be given in the statement of the question if we want to solve it completely. So one more, this will be used in further questions. So that is why it is important to know about this rule. Then we have the Laplace transform of integral. This is the another rule. Laplace transform of integral. And what is that? If Laplace of f of t is equal to f bar s, then Laplace of f of u du, and integration is with respect to the limits 0 to t, that is f bar s upon s. It means you will divide this f bar s by s. This is very simple. So this is the Laplace transform of integral. What is this? This is the function. This is the same function. We have just written. We have just changed the variable. T variable have been changed to u, because in definite integral, change of variable doesn't make any difference. So the limits of u are 0 to t. Ultimately, that is a function of t. So the Laplace transform of the integral is found, can be found by dividing f bar s with s. So this is also very simple rule. We can use in questions also. Let us find out the solution of the question. Find the Laplace transformation one more thing. If this is the formula, this formula can be used as an inverse. From this formula, this one, we can also write on Laplace inverse of f bar s over s is equal to integral 0 to t f of u du. We can also use the formula in this way. Now, let us use find the Laplace transform of 0 to t e raised to power minus t into cos of t dt. We have to find out the Laplace of this integral. So first of all, we need to find out the Laplace of this, because this is f of t. If you compare it with the formula, you just see this is the formula. Then what is f of t? F of t is this complete function e raised to power minus t cos t. But we have to find out the Laplace of this complete function one by one. First of all, let us write down the formula of Laplace of cos t, that is s upon s square plus 1. Now you can apply shifting theorem, e raised to power minus t into cos t. And then the Laplace become s plus 1 over s plus 1 whole square plus 1. This is the Laplace. And by using the Laplace transform of integral rule, this rule, this one, I'm going to use this, that is equal to f bar s, this one, f bar s over s. So it means you just need to divide this f bar s with s. But it come out to be, this is equal to 1 by s, s plus 1 over s plus 1 whole square plus 1. This is the straight away the required result. This is very simple to use. So we can find out the Laplace transformation of an integral. This can also be, this formula can also be used for inverse Laplace transform. Example, if we want to find out the inverse Laplace transform of 1 over s into s plus 1 whole cube, you just see, then what is this? This can be written as Laplace inverse over s. This is s in the denominator, and there is 1 over s plus 1 whole cube. Now, if we compare this, that is L inverse of f bar s, which come out to be f bar s, this one. This complete term is f bar s over s. And if we compare this with this one, then that should be equal to integral 0 to t f of u du. And that should be equal to integral 0 to t f of u, f of u or f of t, somewhat same. For change of variable in definite integral doesn't make any difference. It means we need to find out what is this. This is f bar s. F bar s is equal to 1 over s plus 1 whole cube. And f bar s is what? That is the Laplace of f of t. Then that is f bar s. And from f bar s, if we want to find out f of t, then that should be equal to L inverse of 1 over s plus 1 cube. So we need to find out the Laplace inverse of this function. And the Laplace inverse of this function can be found by using this formula. And the formula is Laplace of, now you just see, Laplace of t square is equal to 2 factorial over s cube, because we can use this formula Laplace of t raised to power n, that is n factorial over s raised to power n. By using this formula, we can easily write down Laplace of t square is 2 factorial over s cube. And from this, by using the first shifting theorem, exponential function can be taken with it. If we use exponential function, what is the coefficient of t? Minus 1. It means changing s to s plus 1 in the denominator. That come out to be s plus 1 whole cube. Changing s to s plus 1 by using first shifting theorem. And what it come out to be, you can take L inverse on the other side. And from this, we can write down, or we can use here this one, because denominator is same, so that will be equal to 1 by 2 e raised to power minus t into t square, because L inverse will be taken to this side and 2 is a constant term, can be taken to left hand side. So this is the f of t. Now you can write down the expression here, this one, and that is equal to 0 to t. You can write in terms of u also, it doesn't make any difference. that is t u square e raised to power minus u du. Then how to integrate it? By using um, first function and second function method. Now, first function as it is integral of second, the limits are 0 to t and 0 to t. The derivative of first function, that is 2u e raised to power minus u minus 1 du. Now, substitute the limits over here. That is, when you substitute t, you will get minus t square e raised to power minus t, and for lower limit 0, it come out to be 0. And minus is plus 2 times 0 to t u e raised to power minus u du. Again, integral by parts, integration by parts, that is minus t square e raised to power minus t, and that is plus 2 first function u as it is integral of second, limits are 0 to t minus 0 to 0 to t, then the derivative of u is 1, integral of e raised to power minus u is this one. What it come out to be, if you are taking u here, you can close the bracket also. Close the bracket, because this 2 is common to the whole expression, and now it come out to be minus t square e raised to power minus t plus 2 times, substitute the limit, that is minus t e raised to power minus t, for lower limit 0, this is 0, plus is there, and integration of e raised to power minus u again, that is 0 to t, but it come minus t square e raised to power minus t plus 2, that is minus t e raised to power minus t. Substitute the upper limit, this is e raised to power minus t and minus 1. Now, this is the required inverse Laplace transform of this question, this one. So by this way, by using the Laplace transform of integral rule, we can easily find out the Laplace transformation and inverse Laplace transformation. So thank you very much. Thank you, students.
Hello, sir.